Have you ever heard about a village where women are forbidden to wear certain types of nightwear to sleep, even married women? It sounds strange, doesn't it? How could something as simple as nightwear hold such power over an entire community? Sit tight as I unravel the mystery behind this terrifying tradition that has haunted the people of Oralu for generations. A long time ago, in a village named Oralu, the women followed a strict rule regarding what they wore to bed. No matter the weather, no matter the season, every woman, young or old, married or single, had to wear long, flowing gowns that covered them completely before going to sleep. It wasn't merely a tradition, it was a rule of survival. For it was said that any woman who dared wear a revealing nightdress would vanish without a trace. It didn't matter if she was royalty or a visitor passing through, the moment she closed her eyes wearing something too revealing, she would be gone by morning. No footprints. No sounds. No struggle. Just an empty bed where she once lay. No one knew exactly how it happened, but everyone feared it. And so, in Oralu, when night came, every woman wrapped herself tightly in fabric, leaving no inch of skin exposed. But how did this curse begin? Why was the village trapped in such a terrifying fate? To understand, we must go back to the time of a powerful king named Abayan. King Abayan was no ordinary ruler. He was wealthy, feared, and known for having more wives than he could count. Yet, his hunger for women never faded. Whenever he saw a woman he desired, married or not, he would take her, and no one dared stop him. His palace was filled with queens, some young, some older, all competing for his attention. One day, a clever queen named Queen Leora decided to try something different. She dressed in a beautiful, revealing nightdress to attract the king's gaze. The moment King Abayan saw her, he was captivated. He spent the entire night with her, forgetting all his other wives. News spread quickly through the palace. Soon, the other queens, desperate for the king's love, began purchasing the most revealing and luxurious nightwear they could find. Competition grew fierce. Every night, the palace shimmered with silk, lace, and jewels as each queen sought to outshine the rest. For the first time in years, the king stopped taking new wives. He was satisfied, at least for the moment. All seemed well, until one fateful night. It was a cool, quiet evening. The king and his guards were walking near the village stream when they encountered a young girl named Naya. She was barely out of her teenage years, her beauty radiant beneath the moonlight, and she wore exactly the kind of nightdress that the king loved most. The king stopped, his eyes fixed on her. "Who are you?" he asked. Naya greeted him politely but hurried along, uninterested in conversation. But King Abayan was not finished. "Marry me," he said abruptly. Naya froze. Was she hearing correctly? A man she had never spoken to was demanding her hand in marriage. "I do not wish to be your wife, my king," she replied firmly. The king was stunned. No woman had ever refused him before. "Then at least spend the night with me," he said smoothly. Naya's voice sharpened. "I am not for sale." With that, she turned to leave. The king's face darkened. His pride burned. "Seize her," he ordered. The guards grabbed her roughly, dragging her into the darkness. Her screams were swallowed by the forest. By sunrise, Naya was gone. The king buried her in a shallow grave, warning his guards never to speak of the night or face death. For 2 years, the village remained silent. But then, the disappearances began. At first, it was 1 or 2 women from the palace. Then more and more across the village began vanishing without a trace. No one saw them leave. No one heard them scream. It was as though they had been plucked from existence. Fear spread like wildfire. The once joyful palace became a place of dread. Women clutched their children at night, terrified they might disappear next. Finally, the king consulted the village oracle. With a grave expression, the chief priest said, "This is your doing. Naya's spirit is on the loose, taking women who wear revealing clothes at night. She will not stop until she takes you." The king's blood ran cold. He had faced many enemies, but how does one fight a vengeful spirit? He begged for a solution. "You must never speak of what happened," the priest warned. "And from this day forward, every woman in Oralu must cover herself completely at night, or vanish." The king agreed immediately. That night, drums summoned the villagers to the palace. A new law was declared. Every woman must wear full clothing to bed. Disobey, and you will disappear. The villagers did not question it, they were too afraid. From that day on, the rule was followed strictly. Visitors were warned upon arrival. Cover yourself before you sleep, or risk never waking up. But not everyone believed. One such person was a young woman named Zina. Raised in the city by deeply religious parents, Zina was rebellious. She saw their constant prayers as old-fashioned. She loved modern fashion, short dresses, crop tops, tight jeans, anything that made her stand out. Despite her parents' warnings about modesty, she always did as she pleased. In her final year at university, Zina chose to do a research project on her ancestral village, Oralu. Her professor encouraged her to visit the village for first-hand research. When she told her parents about the trip, they grew deeply concerned. "Zina, there is something you must know," her father said. "No woman is allowed to wear revealing clothes to sleep. It's a matter of life and death." Zina scoffed. "Daddy, that's just superstition. No one disappears over a dress." Her mother pleaded with her to be cautious, but Zina only agreed half-heartedly, with no intention of following the rule. The day of the trip arrived. As Zina packed, her mother noticed a revealing nightdress in her suitcase. "You cannot take this to the village," her mother warned. But Zina laughed. "Mommy, relax. I'll be fine." And with that, she left for Oralu. The village was just as she'd imagined, mud houses, thatched roofs, narrow pathways. As soon as she arrived, a group of women rushed to her. "Please, my daughter," an elder begged. "Go inside and change your clothes." Confused, Zina looked down at her short dress. "This is against our tradition. You must not dress like this here," another woman explained. Zina burst out laughing. "You can't be serious." A younger woman whispered urgently. "This is no joke. If you wear such clothes to sleep, you will disappear." But Zina folded her arms. "I can dress however I want." The women exchanged worried glances and left. Unbothered, Zina entered her uncle's house. That evening, after spending the day interviewing villagers, Zina prepared for bed. Amused by the village's fear, she pulled out her silky nightdress. "Let's see if this curse is real," she muttered, slipping it on. She climbed into bed and soon drifted to sleep. Morning came. The village woke, but Zina did not. Her uncle knocked on her door. No response. He opened the door, the room was empty. Zina was gone. Panic swept the village. When the news reached her parents, they were devastated. Without delay, they traveled to Oralu, accompanied by their pastor, a man of deep faith. Upon arriving, the pastor declared, "This land is cursed. It needs cleansing." The villagers gathered for prayer the next day. The king, now old, panicked when he heard. He summoned the chief priest. "You must stop them. If they pray, the truth will come out." But the priest waved him off. "Do not fear, my king. Nothing will happen." During the prayer session, the pastor received a powerful revelation. He saw Naya. He saw the Night King Abian killed her. He saw the shallow grave. Eyes wide, he pointed at the king. "You," he thundered. "You murdered an innocent girl. This curse is your doing." Gasps filled the air. The king shouted for his guards, but before they could act, the king convulsed and collapsed, dead. The chief priest fell beside him. One by one, the guards involved in Naya's death also perished. Justice had been served. As prayers continued, a mighty wind swept through the village. One by one, the missing women reappeared, including Zina. Tears streaming, she ran into her parents' arms. "I'm so sorry," she wept. "I should have listened. I should have prayed." Her parents embraced her with joy. That day, Oralu was freed from its curse. The law forbidding women from wearing certain clothes at night was abolished. The village celebrated. No longer did mothers fear for their daughters. Zina returned to the city, a changed person. She no longer dismissed prayer. She respected her parents deeply. And she never forgot the terrifying experience in Oralu. Dear viewers, this is where we will end today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next story. Goodbye.